we need everybody with seatbelts. We need everybody to keep their arms inside the vehicle. We'll be travelling in city traffic. We don't need any casualties or limbs lost. Adults, you just take care of the little ones. Make sure they're all good. There's meant to be no eating or drinking. I'm not going to take them off them now. That's alright. Yeah, no worries. And yeah, no smoking. That's the formalities out of the way, but you're all very welcome on Viking Splash Tours. Doesn't matter where you come from, for the next hour 15 minutes, we're all going to be Vikings. Yay! And we're going to go on a Viking raid in Dublin. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that as soon as we move away from the original Celts there. We're going to terrorise Celts. We're going to, yeah, we're on a Viking raid of Dublin City. Okay, we get to show the road. Silly Celts blocking us in. We're going on a Viking raid in Dublin City, and as Vikings we used to hate the Celts. We used to be at war with them for centuries. We used to do terrible things to the Celts, as well as robbing and pillaging the monasteries and the communities. We used to chop off their heads with axes and do horrible stuff to them. But we're not allowed to do that anymore. EU regulations say we're not allowed to do that. So we come up with the Viking roar. And we're going to roar at everybody outside the ship is a Celt. And we're going to terrorise these Celts. The cappuccino Celts, you'll see them in the trendy cafes sipping their coffee. They'll be unsuspecting. We can terrorise those. You'll see the tourist Celts who'll be standing at corners reading maps. They're unsuspecting, lost. We can terrorise those. The competition Celts, I hate those. They're the ones driving on their fancy new open top liners. We can terrorise those. And but we're not allowed the only group we're not allowed to terrorise are the cop Celts. They don't like it, and they tend to roar back, so we won't terrorise those. And how we're going to terrorise them, because we're not allowed to chop off their heads, we're going to do the Viking roar, okay? And the Viking roar consists of 3 parts. First of all, and we need everybody to take part, otherwise you'll have to do it yourself. So the Viking roar consists of 2 parts, 3 parts even. First of all, you put your hands up in the air, everybody, then you make an arty face, and then you go, ah! Very good. So we're going to do that when I count to 3 again. Right, we get the builder Celts. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, ah! Very good. Yeah, they also brought us money, the Vikings. They were the first people to mint money in Ireland. The Romans would have conquered a lot of Europe, or most of Europe, and they would have brought a monetary system to them countries, but they were afraid of their life to come to, the Romans were afraid of their life to come and challenge the Celts. They thought they were a mad bunch of warriors altogether. Probably right. Yeah, so sales of money, we can be thankful to the Vikings for. College of Surgeons Ireland. Before we bodies of people like the body snatchers, grave robbers, who dig up freshly buried bodies for their organs, to sell their organs, and probably to take all the jewellery and valuables that were on them also. But there was a famous one of Burke and O'Hare, they were from Edinburgh, famous body snatchers, if you have heard of them. One of them was 4 quid in debt. He found a deceased relative in his house, and he sold the body to a corrupt doctor. He got £7 for the body, so he was £3 in the black for selling the body. So you could say he made a killing. For those of you that expect flowers and chocolates on Valentine's Day, St. Valentine is buried, or his remains. If you look up there on the right hand side, there's Whitefriars Street Chapel. And inside there, in the crypt, you can see the heart of St. Valentine. Somebody's broken St. Valentine's heart. Just over the red brick buildings there on the left, you'll see it more clearly when we get to the junction. That's St. Patrick's Cathedral, founded in the 12th century, and named after our patron St. Patrick. Inside the gates of the grounds there's a well, and it's reported that when St. Patrick stuck his staff into the ground, up came bubbling Guinness, was it, or holy water of some description, and it's with that water it said that he baptised the Celts, converting them from paganism to Christianity. St. Patrick, he was a good man. He banished the snakes out of Ireland also, apparently. And he also gave us a day off school, didn't he? He gave us a bank holiday.
Abby's birthday.
Yeah.
And
should tell her if she was in Ireland.
the dean of St. Patrick's Cathedral is Jonathan Swift, who is he's also buried there. Jonathan Swift is a famous Irish author. And if you look above the doorways there, you see the round discs. They depict scenes from Gulliver's Travels. Famous work about the giant and the little people. Jonathan Swift was born on that street, Bright Street. So here we have the Ivy Trust, named after Lord Ivy, or whose proper title was Sir Benjamin Guinness and the Guinness family. And the Guinness family would have built these houses in the 19th century to house their staff. They were good to their workers, the Guinness family. They housed their staff. They gave them free Guinness, got them hooked on the gargle. We also restored or funded the restoration of St. Patrick's Cathedral that we just saw in the 19th century. So we're just coming up to the top of the highest hill in Dublin city centre. It would have been the site of the first Viking settlement around 942. And that would have been just Dublin Castle. And straight ahead we have Christchurch Cathedral, founded by the Norse Viking King of Dublin at the time, Sigurd Silkebeard. And to the left we have Dublinia. We find an awful lot of information if you're interested in medieval and Viking Dublin. And just here on the right hand side you can see down in the cobblestones the markings, the different coloured paving. They're the outline of 2 Viking houses that would have been in this settlement here on the right hand side. Wood Quay settlement. It would have been about 200. It would have been the largest Viking settlement found in the North Atlantic outside of Scandinavia. There was a Norse Viking settlement, although Danish Vikings also came. And yeah, in the 1970s they decided to build these monstrosities of buildings over such an important site. There was a lot of protestation about that from the public and interested parties, and it was estimated that there was 2 million Viking artifacts in the site. And due to, well, there was a lot of protests, but they came to an agreement that they could have 1 year to archaeologically excavate the site, and at which time it was estimated that they uncovered artifacts and fragments of about 1 million artifacts. Some such as the coins that we mentioned earlier, about the Vikings who brought coins to Ireland. Arr! Getting away from the mile. Yeah, they also introduced buttons. The buttons that you have on your clothing, Vikings gave us those. And if you've got red hair, Vikings gave us red hair. If you have red hair, you're probably a descendant of the Vikings somewhere along the line. So yeah, they would have come up the Liffey that we're about to cross, and they would have settled here in the 10th century. And they would have raided and pillaged the Irish monasteries and communities for over a century. Well, there was Vikings here until the 1200s, but in the year 1014 there was a battle between the Celts and the Vikings up in Clontarf in North Dublin, where the Irish Celtic High King at the time, Brian Boru, defeated the Vikings. He would have defeated Citrix and Kilmere that was up there, and the other High King at the time, Malachy. And as only about 60 longships came up the Liffey there, there wouldn't have been that many Vikings. But the Celts were too busy fighting each other, fighting Irish and all that. The Celts would have been too busy fighting amongst their own clans, and they were also robbing and pillaging and stealing from monasteries and causing mayhem themselves to notice what the Vikings were doing. But it wouldn't have been until Brian Boru united the Celtic clans that they were able to defeat the Vikings. In actually, and it's just around the corner from where he got picked up and be dropped off. Yeah, they have all the Viking artifacts in there. Actually, there was a longship uncovered in it, and rather than remove it and try and put it on display, they actually filled it in with rubble and left it as part of the foundation, which is quite sad. Yeah, the planners of the 70s in Ireland weren't so hot. So we have the 4 coats. Just get around here, get this ship room. To know more about Vikings, just up there underneath Christchurch Cathedral, where we passed, there's a place called Dublinia, and in there you'll find a lot of interactive information about medieval Dublin and Viking Dublin. So the Vikings, just the street back is Dublin Castle. That's where the original Viking settlement would have been. The castle itself was built by King John, an Anglo. Actually, the Anglo-Norman invasion, or the Anglo-Norman invasion happened at the time, and one of a Welsh guy called Strongbow, his tomb is actually inside the crypt of Christchurch Cathedral, which is partly damaged when the cathedral's roof collapsed. But it's in the crypt of the cathedral, along with a mummified cat and a rat that were found in the organ pipes when they were restored in the 19th century. They're on display in the crypt also. So just back behind these buildings is Temple Bar, and Temple Bar, some say, is the cultural quarter. It was built in 1816 by a guy called William Walsh, and he was allowed to charge a halfpenny toll or a halfpenny toll over the bridge, and that's how it got its nickname, the halfpenny toll or the halfpenny bridge. That went on for 100 years until 1916, when all hell broke loose.